Hey, friends, thanks for joining. Let's begin seated. Just come into any comfortable seated posture. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Just begin to draw your awareness inward so you really notice how it feels to be in your body today at this time. And then also begin to notice your breath. Start to feel your body breathe. And bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra and remember your sankalpa or your intention for the practice. Okay, so to rub your palms together, create a little heat in your hands. And once you build some heat, use your hands to massage your shoulders and neck. Just continue breathing freely through your nose. Make sure you're relaxing your jaw. Start to feel things out. Great. Then create a little more heat. And use your hands to massage one foot. Wake up all its little joints. And really try to move things around in this foot. And wake up your other foot. All right. Then stretch your legs out. Mobilize your ankles a bit with some plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Bounce out your legs. Wake them up. Lean back on your hands for some easy windshield wipers. And as always, with this first variation of the windshield wipers, anyway, lean back and take some weight on your hands so you don't feel any compression in your spine. In fact, if you lean back enough, you'll feel a little decompression, a little traction in your spine. And then just move your knees side to side on the breath. And then drop your knees to one side. Just make some circular motions with your upper body here. Check out how this feels. Make some small circles, make some big circles, both directions. And then change sides. Make some circles or some movements on this side. And of course, chances are it's going to feel a little bit different. All right. Unwind, cross your ankle. Let's come up to all fours. Let's do a few kneeling salutes. Inhale here, extend your spine. And then exhale, you sit back in a child's pose. Inhale, reach up and open the fronts of your hips. And then exhale back in a child's pose. Now inhale up to all fours, lift your chest, look forward, and exhale back into dog pose. Yeah, let's do that again. Inhale to your hands and knees, extend your spine. Exhale the child's pose, tighten your abdomen. Inhale, reach up, open the fronts of your hips. And then exhale back into child's pose. Inhale to all fours. And then exhale back to dog pose. I'll talk you through that sequence one more time. Inhale the table pose. Exhale the child's pose. Inhale the candlestick pose. And then back to child's pose. Inhale the table. And then to dog. Just go through that sequence a couple more times on your own, at your own pace. Use the movements of your body to help stretch the breath. Okay, now the next time you're in table pose, the next time you're on all fours, let's just stop there and do some more circular movements. So now think about making a circular movement with your hips. Now the rest of your body will move it too as well, move as well, but kind of making a circle with your hips here. And the other direction. Okay, now this next one, it's kind of like a three-dimensional cat-cow. Or maybe even better yet, a good example is imagine your spine as a jump rope. So what I'm going to do is extend my spine. So I lengthen that area between my sternum and navel again, but then I kind of shift my rib cage to the right. And then like in a cat pose, so I shorten that area between my sternum and navel, then shift rib cage to your left, and then down to the starting position again. So again, I think it probably makes sense to most of us. Imagine your spine as a jump rope. Just going through that kind of a circular motion, I guess. And as always, especially with these warm ups, nice and slow, no need to rush. And mind you, it might not be the biggest movement ever. It's kind of a subtle movement, actually, especially to the sides. And go the other direction. Kind of like in cat cow as well. Don't be super concerned about your head making a lot of movement. In fact, try to make your head not make too much movement. Think about the movement coming from kind of like the middle and lower part of your spine. All right, then let's just sit back on your heels if it's comfortable. As always, you can use a prop or sit however you need to if it bothers your knees to do this. Bring your palms together and mobilize your wrists. Make a circular motion with your hands. When the backs of your wrists are together, maybe give a little pressure. Remember your breath. Go the other direction. All right, great. Now fingertips to your shoulders. Big backward circles with your elbows. Yep, and then add a twist. All right, then rest your hands in your lap. Draw a circle with your chin. And go the other direction. All right, good. Let's stretch back to down dog. Now this time in down dog, it might feel good to pedal your feet back and forth a little bit and or shift your hips a little bit side to side. Okay, step 1 foot forward into a lunge. Okay, check out the side. Feel free to make any kind of little movements here in the lunge. And then change sides. Make some movements here. Probably a little subtle movement. Subtle movements are the best. And again, nice and slow. Okay, step both feet forward. Have your feet kind of wide, like almost the width of your mat. Let your knees be at least a little bit bent. So you feel your thighs supporting your torso. And then cross your arms. Allow the weight of your head, your arms to decompress your spine a bit here. Okay, good. And just bring your hands to your hips. Keep your knees a little bit bent and with a strong backward stand all the way up. And just continue with our qigong inspired warm up. So feet are still like about the width of your mat, so relatively wide. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your palms together. Exhale all the breath out here. Okay, now as you inhale, bring your arms out like a T. Now stand up really tall. Lift your chin a little bit so you extend your spine. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your palms together. Again, bend your knees a little bit and lower your chin. Good. Now this inhale, bring your arms up. Press your hands up toward the ceiling and stand up really tall. Look up. Now as you exhale, press your palms toward the floor. Look down, bend your knees. And finally, inhale, sweep your arms up, stand tall. Then exhale back into the starting position. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Expand your chest and rib cage. Lift your chin a little bit. As you exhale, slowly bring your palms together. Bend your knees a little bit and lower your chin. This inhale, press your palms to the ceiling. Look up, stand tall. Exhale, press your palms toward the floor. Look down, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up, stand tall. And exhale back to the starting position. Okay, I'll talk you through that sequence one more time. Inhale here. And then exhale here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale back to the starting position. Now let's go through that sequence a couple more times on your own, at your own pace. Like earlier, using the movements of your breath, movements of your body to stretch the breath. All right, good. Once you complete that round, just relax your arms down by your sides. Take a few normal breaths. Okay, now lift your right foot off the floor. In fact, think about lifting your right knee forward and up as high as you can. Keep standing really tall. Use your arms however you want for balance. Focus your eyes, of course. And if you want to make it more challenging from here, you can always close your eyes for a few slow, smooth breaths. Great. Bring both feet down. Now change sides. Lift your left foot off the floor so your left knee comes forward and up. Stand really tall in this kind of modified tree pose variation. Focus your eyes. If you want more challenge, close your eyes, but keep breathing. Okay, good. Both feet down. Now go ahead and just step your left foot back. So assuming you're standing at the front of your mat, step your left foot back, turn your left toes out so your left toes point toward the side of your mat, and then bend your left knee. As you bend your left knee, see if you can release your tailbone toward the floor so you don't feel any tension in your low back. In fact, you feel your low back relax, but you feel your left thigh tighten up. It's getting stronger. Most of us know now at this point, all 99% of your weight is on your left foot. Your right foot up there is really light. Then bring your right hand up like it's blocking a strike. Left hand under your heart like it's giving an offering. Let's take a few more slow, smooth breaths here. You should really feel your left thigh working here. It's getting stronger. Okay, now shift your weight onto your right foot. Bend your right knee, straighten your left knee. Pull this right hand back and then push with your left hand. As you push with your left hand, think about engaging your torso just so you do a little bit of a twist, like you're pushing something or someone. And by the way, right now your right knee should be stacked over your right little toes. Not your big toe, but your right little toes. Take a few more breaths here. Again, most of your weight on your front foot now, on your right foot. Okay, let's go back and forth. Tai Chi warrior. Inhale, pull back, shift weight to your left foot. Turn your shoulders and block with your right hand. Then exhale, shift weight onto your right foot. Bend your right knee. Turn your shoulders and push with your left hand. Inhale here like you're dodging a strike. Exhale here like you're pushing an opponent. Back and forth. On the breath. Slow and smooth is still the way to go. Prioritize shifting your weight from one foot to the other. And the strength of the movement really coming from your lower body. Upper body's kind of light, like it's floating. Okay, now, if you want to make it a little more challenging here, let's work on our balance more. So as you shift your weight onto your left foot, lift your right foot off the floor again, straighten your left knee, stand up really tall, and just pause here for a second. And then softly bring your right foot to the floor again. Shift your weight and push with your left hand. Inhale here, and then pause, balance for a second. Exhale here, shift your weight and push with your left hand. Now try that a few more times. See if you can make the sequence of movements just a little smoother every repetition. Still with a skillful use of your breath. Okay. Then just step forward to the front of your mat. Take a few normal breaths. Shake it out a little bit if you need to. And change sides. Step your right foot back and turn your right toes out to face the outer edge of your mat. Bend your right knee, shift your weight so you can release your tailbone down and relax your low back, but tighten your right thigh. Left foot up there is really light. Left hand's kind of like it's blocking a strike. Right hand is giving the offering under your heart. Take a few more breaths here. Almost all of your body weight is on your right foot. I should say your right leg is supporting your body weight. All right, now shift your weight onto your left foot. Bend your left knee. Pull your left hand back. push with the right hand, turn your shoulders. Remember, imagine you're pushing something or someone that's kind of heavy. Okay, back and forth. Inhale, pull back, shift your weight, block with your left hand. Exhale, shift your weight to your left foot and push with your right hand. Inhale here. Exhale here. The whole time, tailbone releasing toward the floor so you don't feel your low back tightening up. You feel your legs tightening up. Think of it as a really good strengthening exercise for your lower body as well as your balance. Upper body's kind of light like it's floating, even though it's moving. Think about the strength of the movement coming from your lower body. Okay, now let's begin the balance. So as you shift away down to your right foot, if you can, lift your left foot off the floor, stand really tall, pause here for a second, like another kind of different version of tree pose. And then shift away down to your left foot again and push with your right hand. Inhale here, and then pause. Exhale here, and then push. Yeah, keep going. Slow and smooth is the way to go. In fact, a little smooth, a little more fluid every repetition. Then bring both feet to the floor. Just take a few normal breaths again. Might feel good to shake or bounce a little bit. That's fine. All right, now open your feet wide. Not as wide as you can, but wider than the width of a mat. Okay, feet are wide. Just bring your hands to your hips. Inhale here, look up, lift your chest. And then as you exhale, lean forward, bring your hands to the floor. And of course, to do that, you might need to bend your knees. You may need to open your feet wider. Do whatever you need to so you can get your hands to the floor comfortably. And then just move a little bit side to side. So bend one knee, bend the other knee. And if you have to go side to side, again, you might need to shift your feet a little bit. That's fine. You begin to shift your hands as well. Think about, and of course, not rushing into your deepest kind of side lunge here as possible, but think about eventually over the next, 30 seconds or so, getting your hips a little bit lower than your shoulders when you're in that side lunge. Okay, check things out in this direction. And now feel free to hang out on one side a bit here. See how that feels. Do your best to avoid collapsing to your inner arch of this foot, though, the bent knee side foot. It is. And then change sides. Okay, good. Then come back to the center. Maybe fold a little bit deeper. And then when you're ready, let's just stand back up. Okay, feet still wide. Let's go through the revolving disc chakri. Now remember, especially when you lean forward, for most of us, it's better to bend your knees a little bit so you can get more flexion in the hips. So, and think about really letting your knees straighten and bend whenever it feels like it's beneficial for that to happen. Straight legs is not a priority at all in this one. And let's do the one where we cross our arms to kind of hold your opposite trapezius muscle, upper shoulder there. Okay, inhale here. Now as you exhale, lean to one side and then lean forward. Then lean to the other side and up again. Now, as I kind of implied before, feel free to reposition your feet when you're doing this movement too. Think about making a big circular motion with your upper body. Readjust your feet when necessary and bend your knees whenever it feels like that's going to be beneficial for you to make that circular motion. Once you've gone about 5 times in the first direction, reverse and go the other direction. It's actually another pretty good exercise to help improve your balance because you're moving your upper body in a pretty big movement pattern, but your lower body is staying very stable. Now, once it feels like you've gone about 5 times in both directions, let's just step forward to the front of your mat again and come into a squat. And most of you know that, generally speaking, feet kind of wide is better for a squat. So I would say feet at least hip width, maybe even as wide as your mat. Feel free also, once you come down here, let your heels lift up. So think about kind of, since it is our first kind of real squat, think about kind of easing into the squat. I like arms between the knees so your knees avoid collapsing inward. It might feel good to make some movements here side to side or up and down. However it feels like you need to kind of sink into a nice first squat. And then, my favorite is one of my favorites is the old frog squat. So press your hips up, then sink your hips down and look forward. Hips up and hips down. Feel free to let your heels lift up when you're in that squat. That's helpful sometimes. All right, great. Then let's just step back in a plank pose and take a few breaths in plank. It could be in your hands or your forearms, of course. Tighten your thighs, tighten your glutes, tighten your abdomen. And then slowly lower all the way to the floor with control. Let's just come into crocodile next. So rest your forehead on your hands. Take a moment to relax and allow your breath and your heartbeat to slow down. All right, now bend your knees and make some circles with your shins so you rotate your thighs again. And go the other direction. All right, now the half frog. Bring your left knee out to the side and your left toes point out to the side as well. And chances are when you did that, your left hip lifted up. See if you could sink your left hip back down a little. And then lift your left foot and ankle up and down. Up and down on the breath. And then let's get to hover. Okay, bring it back down. Let's change that. Bring your right knee out to the side. Point your right toes toward the opposite wall. And chances are your right hip lifted a little bit. So see if you could sink your right hip back down and lift your right foot and ankle up and down, up and down. And then ask it to hover. Okay, bring it back down. Side scorpion time. Bring your left arm out to the side. Roll to your left and bring your right foot to the floor someplace over there. And then change sides. So right arm off the side, roll to that side. All right. Now to Sphinx pose. Create a little more length in your waist here in Sphinx. Once you've created nice length and bend your knees, make some circles. Again, both directions. All right, now let's stay in Sphinx pose, but we're going to add a twist. So I just turn your right hand in a little bit. Now, when we do this in a moment, I'm going to take my left elbow off the floor. Do your best to avoid letting your shoulders drop. Try to keep your shoulders and head really high. So press this hand down. And then reach back, bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, and maybe hold inside your left foot if you can. And notice I'm externally rotating my arm here. So I'm starting here. I'm going to turn my bicep out to the side and then up. My inner elbow is kind of facing up, and not this way, but that way. Let him open chest up again. And then from here, at some point, you'll feel a pretty good stretch in the front of your left thigh and or the front of your left shoulder. Take a few breaths here. All right. And then change sides. You can reach back with your right hand the same way. Okay, good. Both legs down. Now, feel free to stay in any Sphinx variation, or if you like, we could try a bow pose. Now, bend both knees. Hold your feet and ankles. Use the strength of your legs to lift up and open your chest. If you can't reach, or if it hurts, or if you just don't want to do this one, just repeat any of those Sphinx variations we did earlier. Okay, then relax back to the crocodile. Take a few breaths here. And then let's return to child's pose. Once you're in child's pose, focus on breathing into your back. Just breathe, get some breath into the area behind your heart. All right. And come up to all fours, cross your ankles and have a seat. Stretch both legs forward for the inchworm. Lift one hip up, shift it forward, lift the other hip up and shift it forward. Really good for the sides of your core. To walk forward inch by inch. At some point, I think anyway, you'll run out of room. When you run out of room, throw it in reverse. Yep, and remember, try to avoid swinging your arms for momentum. Try to really feel the movement from deep in your core. The inchworm name was really coined by Ken while we were in Mexico in Isla Mujeres. Good name. Okay, once you've gone to the back of your mat, then go forward again. Okay, now let's do a boat pose variation. We'll, as always, we have a bunch of options. First option is to hold your legs, find your balance here. Next option, well, another option anyway, is to rock back and forth. You can rock the boat, you can rock back and rock forward. If that bothers you a little back, of course, don't do it. You can try either one of those variations without your hands, which is going to be a little bit harder. So any kind of boat variation for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. All right, good. Now let's go back to the windshield wipers. Feel free to do the one we did earlier with our hands on the floor. Of course, more challenging would be to have your hands off the floor. Now, if you do this variation with your hands off the floor and it hurts your lower back or your knees or your hip, then don't do it. Return to the variation that didn't hurt your hips or knees or low back. Do the pain-free version, please. All right, then drop your knees to your left again. This time, sort of a good 90-90 position. Once you have those 90-degree angles, then hands to the floor outside your left thigh for a nice twist. Hang out here a bit. Breathe slowly, smoothly. And then change sides. Okay, unwind. Now stretch both legs forward again and hold your feet. If you can't reach your feet with your knees straight, bend your knees until you can reach your feet. Ideally, like when we did that standing forward fold, bring your abdomen to your thighs. Now lie onto your back. Just gonna do a little bridging next. Once you're on your back, just press your hips up. Really think about opening the fronts of your hips from the strength of your glutes, and then lower back down. Do that 5 or 6 times. Again, get in the habit of engaging your glutes so the fronts of your hips open up. And of course, your hips move up and down. And now keep your hips up in bridge pose. All right, then lower your hips. Without using your hands, bring your knees up toward your chest and make some circles with your knees. So you massage your low back on the floor and engage your core at the same time. You go both directions. All right, now let's do some kind of inversion, some variation of shoulder stand. Now, if you don't want to do a full on inversion, you can always just slide your legs up the wall. That's great as well. Legs up the wall is fine. You can also use some kind of props under your hips with legs up the wall. You can use blankets. You can do a full shoulder stand. Do whatever kind of shoulder stand position or variation that you deem appropriate for you and your neck. Just do it for about a minute or so, okay? And then a plow feels okay for your neck and low back. Any kind of plow variation is good too. If it hurts to do plow, then don't do it. All right, then lower to the floor. Once you're down, take a minute to do whatever it feels like you need to do to prepare for Shavasana. Do whatever feels like you need to do so you're super comfortable in corpse pose or something similar, some variation of corpse pose, whatever feels good for you. And once you have settled in, really allow the floor to take your body weight. Relax your jaw, soften your eyes, even release your breath. And take a few moments here, though, to watch your navel rise and fall on each breath to help integrate body and mind. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your ankles and wrists, and take the next minute or so to work yourself back up to seated and back into any comfortable seated posture. All right, and let's do a few rounds of nadi kriya. As always, I'll talk us through the first round, and then you do two more on your own. Okay, so sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and then do 9 Kapalabhati breaths. After 9, block off your left nostril, inhale through your right. Once you've inhaled completely, release your hand down, retain the breath in. Just practice being really still. Retain the breath in for as long as you can, but when it feels like you need to exhale, you'll just block off your right nostril and exhale through your left. Then once you have exhaled, release your hand down again, take a normal breath, followed by 9 more Kapalabhatis. Now block off your right nostril and inhale through your left. Then pause, find that stillness again. When it feels like it's time to exhale, exhale through your right nostril. And then finally, take a deep breath in through your mouth and make a sound in your throat. So a short pause and a hissing sound to help stretch the exhale. All right, that was one complete round. Now repeat that 2 more times on your own. Now, once you've completed this round, allow yourself to breathe freely again. And if it feels like you need to change the cross of your legs or adjust your seat in any way, take care of that. And now let's do a little movement with your torso side to side as if your spine was a blade of grass and there is a gentle breeze blowing it side to side. Make it a subtle movement though, so if I were to look at you, I might not notice you moving, but you feel your spine gently sway side to side. All right, then come back to the center and practice keeping your body perfectly still, but keep all of your awareness in your spine. All of your awareness in your spine. And if your mind, if your awareness, I should say, begins to wander, that's okay. If you notice a wandering, though, bring it back to your spine. So it feels like it's full of energy. All right, then bring your palms together back to Anjali Mudra. Take one last moment to enjoy the peace you've created through the practice. And so if you rub your palms together again, create a little more heat. Once you've built some heat, rest your hands over your eyes. Feel it moving in, recharging your senses. Take one last slow, smooth breath in here. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed class. Have a fantastic day, and I hope I get to see you again soon.